Hello friends and welcome to the channel. I'm Handington, and I'm blurry at the moment, but today we're going to look at the manual for SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Now, if you've seen the first part of this video, where I had just reviewed the box and the disc-looking thing, and I just talked all about that and talked about my experiences with it, and my excitement and hopes for the remake, and just all fan gushing, then this is actually part 2 of the video, but I wanted to split it up in case you're just interested in reading the manual, or just looking at this. And then this way it also made the other video not as long, so you could get to it in different portions. So here it is, the manual. Oh yeah, I forgot. They were trying to make Tak a thing. A hero will rise, Tak 2, and the Staff of Dreams. They did make a... Oh yeah, they did make a sequel. There was Tak and the Power of Juju, which I used to see ads for. I think in the game, you'd get to see a thing or whatever. Wow, back when rating was pending. And they also did a Game Boy Advance version of this, too. Tak never really caught on. It never really kicked off to anything. They tried to make a couple of comics in Nickelodeon magazine, and I think they even tried to make a little spin-off show, a small little show, but I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was that interesting, just kind of seemed generic. But, wow, Tak 2, of all things to advertise on the back of the manual, was Tak 2. Huh. Oh, THQ also published it. No, that makes sense as to why it would be in the back. Of course. I don't know. Maybe I'll play that one someday. I'd love if one day I got more GameCube games and I became known as the GameCube guy. Like Kid Icarus is the PS1 guy and whatnot. I don't know. I'd be on board with that. GameCube is a very nostalgic console for me. The controls. Safety warning, seizures, repetitive motion injuries, eye strain, electric shock, motion sickness, laser device, all the stuff that you want to hear in a kid's game. Here we are. Here we are. It's difficult to maneuver with just one hand because I'm using it to hold the camera. Got to start off at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Not going to start off on the other page. Here, of course, is the lovable Nintendo seal of quality. Sorry my hand is shaky. I am just shaky as a person. The official seal is your assurance that this product is licensed or manufactured by Nintendo. Always look for this seal when buying video game systems, accessories, and games and related products. Excuse me. Nintendo does not license the sale or use of products without the official Nintendo seal. Game supports gameplay with one player and controller. They're going to add in a multiplayer mode in the remake for a battling thing, and there's also going to be like an online multiplayer for the game so you can battle against other people or not battle against them, but like do I don't know, like co-op missions to destroy robots or something like that. That sounds awesome. This game requires memory for saving game progress, settings, or statistics. 10. Interesting. Alright, so here is the manual. I miss game manuals so much. I wish that they would have more interesting manuals in games in the future. Oh well. And game boxes as well. I should have added this in the box review. Gosh darn it. The GameCube boxes used to come with a little thing here, the optional memory card storage. So you could take this game over to a friend's house and keep one of your memory cards for the GameCube. And just carry it over to it. I did that with my friend with, I believe, this very box. I put my memory card in it and brought over some games to my friend's GameCube. So that this way you can carry a game and the memory card on here. Because you could play it, the games on any GameCube. It didn't save it to the console. And there's a little shiny Nintendo GameCube thing on here. I should have shown this off in the box review. That's what the box review is for. Of course, and there's Nintendo model, number DOL7, whatever, patent number, millions and something, other patents pending. I love the design and feel of the box. It just feels very... It just kind of feels like a good box. Just like the GameCube controller just felt like a good controller. Oh, also, something I didn't notice is that this top part here is rounded. So it's not just a flat box, it has personality to it. There's a little extra round nub. And if you wanted to keep notes, you could also keep it in the handy-dandy little clips. And then all games came with a precautions booklet for just stuff about the GameCube in general. Excuse me. So this is pretty standard stuff. Came with everything, but the manual was personalized. I love this. It has a little war aesthetic to it, and the table of contents to help you look about anything that you need over here. So all of the different information on different pages, credits, limited warranty. They're getting started. Controls. I love this. When you wish upon a shell, which is what they talk about the intro. Introducing our heroes. It's so cute. I love this. All the different levels. Bikini Bottom, Jellyfish Fields, Downtown Bikini Bottom, Goo Lagoon, the Poseidon, which is actually just a boss area. There's no actual level to it. Rock Bottom, Mermalair, Sand Mountain, Industrial Park, which is also just a battle area, just for another boss. The Kelp Forest, Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, Spongebob's Dream, and the Chum Bucket Lab, which is, I mentioned that earlier, it's the third and final boss area that also starts off in the Chum Bucket itself. So there's actually like, is it 2 or 3? Oh no, I think it's 3 golden spatulas in that area. So it's like a very short boss area, essentially. So, wow, this game is a lot shorter on areas than I remembered. 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They didn't count the Poseidon, Industrial Park, and Chum Bucket Lab in the 10 worlds, so there actually are just 10 main worlds to go to. That was nice. They're not jipping you or over-advertising on the back of the box, which they had said. And there's SpongeBob here looking up at here going like, what do I need to look at? I love this. Yay. Getting started, and the controllers over here. Set up your Nintendo GameCube system accordingly to the direction in its instruction manual. Press the power button. Place the SpongeBob SquarePants disc on the tray labeled face up. Follow the on-screen instructions about playing the rest of the game. Why they decided to have Plankton looking maniacal here, I don't know. Why is it maniacal about teaching you how to put in the game for the GameCube? Ah, well. Here are the controls. I shouldn't have done this under a light. It's very glary. Let me turn off the light. It's now harder to see. This was a mistake. And now there's glare from the window. Turning back on the light so we can see the thing. There we go. The L button, this is just talking about how the GameCube controller works. All the different controls. Jump, press twice to double jump. Why is the bubble bash SpongeBob only? That's right, SpongeBob has his own button that other characters can't use. There's B, which is attack, with a tiny little exclamation mark added to it. It's so cute. Even the control menu has charm. The X button is special depending on which character you play. The bubble bounce, I think if you're in the air, pressing X allows you to do the ground pound. And I forgot that was the same button as the bubble bowl, where he bowls a bowling ball made out of a bubble when you're on the ground. I forgot they were the same thing. So then there's the throw and the lasso, which are Patrick and Sandy's main abilities. That's what you pretty much use Patrick and Sandy for. And then I love this L button, the secret weapon. You'll find out about this later. That's so cute and charming. I would have liked that a bit more if they didn't spoil it on the back of the box. But I don't exactly outright say that, so I guess you could find it out as a surprise, or I've spoiled it right now for you. But then again, if you're watching this, you probably are already a fan and know the game. So, sorry about that, but I still just want to point out just how cute this game manual is. It makes me happy. The R button is to talk to characters or read signs. Also exit or enter levels. Yep, so you don't press it as much, which is good. It's not like in Mario Sunshine where the L and R button are vital to playing the game, which can also make it a little difficult if the L or R button gets a little broken, because it always feels like the buttons would break, because in Mario Sunshine, it's very important to use the different weight of pushing down on the button, because the GameCube controllers are special. Unlike most other controllers ever, the L and R buttons on the GameCube can have 2 functions. If you press the button lightly, it will do one thing, and if you push it down hard, it will do another. Most notable in Mario Sunshine, because not every game took advantage of this, where you could run while spraying water if you held it down lightly, or you'd stop to be able to aim if you pressed down the button all the way. I believe in Wind Waker, they did something like that. Something similar. Where just kind of pushing down the button did a thing, and then pushing it down more did another thing. I don't remember exactly, but I don't think this game uses that. The Z button brings up the HUD, like the game UI, just your information and your stats and how you're doing. That is a good thing. The C stick moves the camera. playing the Jimmy Neutron game and having to pause the game to see the HUD instead of just being able to bring it down while you're in the game. Just having that as an extra option is cool, though I think that maybe I'm still okay with pressing the start button to look at the HUD info. I was going to say if they weren't using the button for anything, then yeah, that worked out. But SpongeBob has 2 moves assigned to one button depending on whether he's in the air or not. So it's like, hey, maybe you could have put that on another button. Ah, well, it does mean that you can't you can't bubble bowl in the mid-air, unlike in the SpongeBob movie game where you can be jumping and then you can bowl. And Patrick has the ground pound. So there you move the camera, the control stick you move the character, and start as Paul. My camera ran out of memory space. I talked for too long. Now I'm going to have to edit this episode and combine the 2 parts into one. So I guess you'll get the little Handington logo on the top, because I do that when I have to render the episode in Blender afterwards. Here we are, the pause menu. There's Patrick sliding on a rope, similar to that moment in, what do you call it? The episode when, not jellyfishing, I think it might have been jellyfishing. I think jellyfishing. One where SpongeBob and Patrick try and help Squidward. So this is when they slide down to the secret area and whatnot. So I believe this was drawn up specifically for the manual, unless it's just stock art somewhere, but it was based off of that scene. When you pause the game, the following choices become available. I love the font as well. So they have it's a charming font that they use, feels very SpongeBob-y, and they also use the war-like style for all of the the different segments to help you out, and it's yellow, which is also very good, rather than keeping everything all white, which it's useful. So when you pause the game, the following becomes available. The B button lets you return to game, which returns you back to the game. I love that. The options here doesn't really say anything too silly, but I love charm that gets put into manuals when they want to put charm in there. So the A button lets you take the taxi, which takes you to parts of the game you've played before you take the taxi. Use the C to adjust the Jellyfish Meter to the level you want to play on. Oh, right, yeah, in the main menu. So it does have a name. It's called the Jellyfish Meter. I didn't realize that. Once you see a question mark instead of a picture, it means you haven't been there yet. Once you've found the place you want to go, press the A button. After the power is turned on the title, that just tells you interesting things. The extras, that's the thing. This section is filled with trailers for other new video games and home videos from Nickelodeon, which is where I saw the TAC Staff of Dreams thing. I always remember the first one, though. The TAC and the Power of Juju, or whatever. TAC, and that may have been the name of the show. I don't remember. Anyway, we have Angry Squidward here, kind of ducking underneath the rest of the words. He's just like, why do I have to be in here? I love that they have the mugshots of the characters, and SpongeBob has his tongue sticking out, Patrick's excited and rubbing his hands, and then Sandy's just like, yeah, I'm here. So, when you wish upon a shell, this tells the backstory of the game in Le Manuel. Patrick and SpongeBob are playing with their toy robots, but they are getting bored. SpongeBob has a great idea to wish upon a magic wishing shell for real robots. They wake up the next morning and discover their wish has come true, but not exactly as they hoped. An army of mindless robots is destroying Bikini Bottom, and it's all SpongeBob's fault. What is he going to do? Or maybe the night before, the evil Plankton put into motion his most diabolical plot ever. This, I believe, was before the movie, so I guess it could have been. He created an army of robots using his new insidious device called the Duplicatotron 3000. The only problem is that he forgot to turn on the Obey Plankton switch, and now his robot army is running amok in Bikini Bottom. So it's not SpongeBob's fault, but he does not know that. What is a sponge to do? Introducing our heroes! As long as these pants are square and the sponge is Bob, I will not let Bikini Bottom down, as the quote goes. Welcome to Bikini Bottom. Let's meet our 3 heroes, the ones who are going to save Bikini Bottom. Or at least we hope so. SpongeBob. They don't say the name on the side. They actually just say it in the description. Maybe he's not the strongest, or even the handiest, but SpongeBob SquarePants has something no one else has. Bubble bowling and incredible bubble-related skills. From bubble Viking helmets to spinning bubble wands, SpongeBob's bubbly creations are unique. That's how SpongeBob mostly attacks in the game, using bubble-related weapons. This is a wonderful game, and I love it. Patrick. Happy Patrick. Patrick is very strong. That's a nice way to talk about Patrick, not being too patronizing. Just happy old Patrick. Back when Patrick was a lot nicer and not as much of a jerk in the later series, they kind of messed up his lovableness. He may not have the bubble bowling or lassos, but he's strong enough to pick up small robots and throw them long distances. Watch those robots fly! Sandy is an all-around action gal. Gal. With her trusty lasso by her side, she could traverse long gaps, swing over hazards, or tie up them bad robots before they even get close. And let's not forget her squirrel karate. SpongeBob is such a lovely, absurd show. Here we go. Need to get to another part of Bikini Bottom? First, SpongeBob or his friends will have to earn golden spatulas by completing tasks. Essentially like the Jiggies in Banjo-Kazooie, or Mario 64's stars, and like, bananas, and Donkey Kong 64, and whatnot. Those are the main things you gotta collect. Shiny objects are used as currency. SpongeBob can use them to purchase golden spatulas in one section, or gain access to some off-limit areas, or even just needed to progress the game. Nothing makes SpongeBob feel like a new sponge, which is actually one of the things that he says in the game. That a pair of clean underwear. Every time SpongeBob takes damage, he'll lose a pair, so don't lose them all or you'll return to the last checkpoint. There are no lives in this game, so you don't have to worry about losing forever, but I think it's funny that the implication is that he wets his pants and needs a brand new change of underwear, and if he runs out of all of his underwear, yes, he essentially loses. If you want SpongeBob to have even more underwear than he normally owns, find a pair of golden underwear. They're difficult to find, but oh so worth it. There's only 3 of them in the game, and they're located by exploring Bikini Bottom. And then here, interestingly enough, they have it as a power-up, but it only appears in, like, the last secret area when you beat the game, I believe. Unless it's in some other point in the game, I don't remember. It's much more prominent in the movie game, where they were like, hey, we have this mechanic, but we didn't really utilize it too well. Let's make certain challenges in the game. Whenever you see this icon, walk SpongeBob over to it, and SpongeBob SquarePants will roll himself into a ball. He does in Bikini Bottom. Once you unlock more areas, he can become a ball to make you get around the area faster. Really good gameplay thing, so you don't always take as long if you need to go from one end of the map to the other. Throw fruits, aka watermelons, are found throughout the world and look like watermelons. Oh, but they are not watermelons. They're just called throw fruit. Or maybe they call it throw fruit and don't know it's a watermelon. I don't know. Patrick can use them to destroy robots, tikis, and to hit faraway objects. The Texas trailer hitches. Oh, those are the things that underneath the trail, that you hitch onto a trailer. I thought it was just like a cow tail that was underneath a little Texas sign that allows Sandy to swing on them. They can be found floating in midair. These are more of just part of the level as opposed to a power-up. Sandy uses her lasso to attach herself to these and launch herself over large gaps, or move rapidly from one end of the level to another, like an industrial park. The items. Oh no, I only have 4 more minutes of recording time left. I want to give this its own time, so if I have to record another segment, I might as well. Wood tiki, these are the most common and easiest to break open. Floating tikis, unlike the other ones, these float around. Patrick's throw can come in handy, or you can just jump or bash. You can ground pound as SpongeBob or bash them. The shh tiki, which have giant ears so they can hear you. Shhs are the shyest tikis of the bunch. Using their big ears, these tikis can hide when someone approaches, only reappearing when the coast is clear. If you're playing as SpongeBob, try to sneak up to them quickly. That's a nice little mechanic. If you move the controller slightly, SpongeBob will tippy-toe, and that is used to get to the shush tikis. That's used to help you defeat another enemy in rock bottom, and then later on, that's asleep, and it also lets you walk over certain other platforms that could break easily if you walk too fast. Thunder Tiki. Tread lightly around this grumpy Tiki. The slightest touch triggers a thunderous explosion for a few seconds later. This explosion destroys surrounding Tikis and reduces health of whoever's nearby. So it can hurt friend or foe. Stone Tiki. Constructed of solid rock. The stoic stone Tiki is impervious to most attacks. Only SpongeBob's cruise bubble can break a stone Tiki. That and also the unused item which was in the game, which I forgot, the Smelly Sundae, which allows you to destroy stone tikis using other means. Interesting. You can also destroy the stone tikis by throwing them into water or like off a cliff or something like that. You must collect enough shiny objects to pay the clam in order to open up additional gameplay areas. Oh, so these are just all in the item category, even though the Texas thing is like more of a stage thing. Taxi stands will take SpongeBob to new levels once he's collected enough golden spatulas. Why taxis only respect you if you have golden spatulas, I don't know. Use the bus stops to switch between SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy. I love that little mechanic. Just a bus comes by and then helps take somebody else away and bring someone else new in. Patrick's socks have been stolen by the menacing robots. Return Pat's socks to him, and he will reward SpongeBob with golden spatulas. You play as Patrick in this game, but he holds on to golden spatulas that he doesn't just give all of them to you. Like, why didn't they make that another character? Why is it a main character you play as? But then again, of all the characters, Patrick is dumb enough where he wouldn't realize that, hey, maybe I could give you all the golden spatulas first, and instead would just exchange them. And then the information signs just help you along. The levels. Oh, that's right, I love the little tips. Hey, SpongeBob, it's time to roust the neighbors and get some help. Of course, collecting shiny objects and golden spatulas is a good thing, too. The Bikini Bottom is like the main hub world that you go to the other worlds with, but it's a level itself, which I love. Tip, want to know something? Look for the button... Oh, want to talk to something? Look for the button prompts. That's not really a good tip. But each of them have a little tip to help you with the levels anyway. So I guess for a tutorial, that's a helpful tip. Jellyfish Fields. Squidward's been stung by jellyfish. To help him, SpongeBob embarks on a dangerous journey to the top of Spork Mountain to collect King Jellyfish jelly, the only known cure for severe jelly stings. The only problem is that King Jellyfish is up there and he's not interested in sharing. If you need to swap characters, look for a bus stop. Yes, also a decent, I don't know, decent tip, I guess, for helping you begin the game. This is the first real level of the game. Downtown Bikini. Day 2 of trying to film this booklet. Sorry, the memory had run out last time, but this time, this time I cleared the camera's memory of stuff, so I should be good. I should be good to finish this up this time. Alright, now let us read the rest of Le Manuel. I believe last time we were up to downtown Bikini Bottom. I hope this is an enjoyable video for you all and a nostalgic trip. I certainly am having fun going back into reading this. This is fun. And for all the new kids on the block who may not get the booklet, I don't know if the Switch will come with a booklet, or if the booklet would even be as charming as this. But you know what? Everybody's seen Let's Plays of the game, so I may pass on that and let's play the remake when it comes out. But I know this is a different kind of video, not as many people are going to be reading the manual. Anywho, downtown Bikini Bottom. There's trouble brewing in downtown Bikini Bottom. Robot trouble. SpongeBob heads there to find out what the word on the streets is. That sentence is a little weird to say. And how he can help. Good old SpongeBob. Back in the days of good old SpongeBob. And there's Mrs. Puff just lurking. Here's a tip. Sandy throws her lasso at whatever the big pointing hand is, well, pointing at. Yep. Pretty succinct there. Charming, but the words are a little hard to make sense of first time reading. Even though I've read this all before and I'm just bad at reading. My one job during this video, Goo Lagoon with Patrick stretching to the skies. I'm in the basement now, so the lighting is a bit different. I don't know if it's better or worse, but either way, maybe I think you can read this a little bit better than last time. I hope. After downtown, SpongeBob takes a minute to relax out at Goo Lagoon. The problem is, the robots aren't taking... After downtown, SpongeBob takes a minute to relax out at Goo Lagoon. The problem is, the robots aren't taking it easy. Larry the Lobster needs SpongeBob's help, and fast! Tip, if you need Patrick to pick up something, hit X, yada yada. If you throw it, hit X, that's just the controls. The Poseidome! I love the little SpongeBob in the background. He's just like, yeah, getting ready to box. And there's the giant Sandy getting ready for battle. I really, really hope the remake is good. Bikini Bottom's ultimate sporting venue has been infested with robots, or one robot. King Neptune demands that SpongeBob and Patrick rid him of the robot menace. That's the first boss fight with Sandy. Rock Bottom. Oh, and there's no tips for this, so I guess you're just on your own for Poseidome. Rock Bottom. Mrs. Puff tells SpongeBob that the robots are ransacking the Rock Bottom Museum. Can he find a way in and stop them before it's... Gulp? Too late? Yeah, maybe. Tip, having a problem spotting something, try rotating your camera for a good look. Okay, these tips aren't really that helpful. So Rock Bottom is half the or maybe a quarter of the level is the museum, and then most of it is actually just the Rock Bottom area itself, and a slide. The Mermalair! Gasp! The wily robots have even Gasp! The wily robots have even invaded Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's secret lair. Is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy all one word? Huh. I don't know. Can SpongeBob shut down the security system, disable the robots, and defeat the evil of Prawn before Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy get back from their doctor appointments? I love this game. Tip, want a little more zip in that bubble bowl? Just hold on to that button a little longer. Longer? Yeah, that's about right. Aha. Now see, that's actually a decent tip to have. Sand Mountain. It's time for some tongue boarding. Texas style. Oh yeah, you can swap to Sandy in this, I believe. And if you jump down into a deep, dark, dank pit, Plankton will give you a golden spatula. He will? Huh. I forgot that. I remember the giant pit is Rock Bottom, and he's right by there. If you tap the A button 3 times, Sandy can use your lasso. Yeah, that's the main control in the game. Why is that a tip for Sand Mountain? Alright. And then here's Industrial Park against Robot Patrick, which I think is actually harder than the first phase of the Robot SpongeBob. Which is interesting that he was a difficult boss. I had trouble fighting him when I was younger, but not impossible. Still a lot of fun to verse against. Here's Gary going meow. Just kind of a little bit derpy here. I like it. And there's no tip, but you get a Gary, so that works out. Yuck. Nothing like liquid industrial waste to give an absorbent SpongeBob the shivers. And why does that giant robot you're fighting look so familiar? Because he's Patrick, that's why. Answered your question that did not need answering. Oh, poor SpongeBob getting caught by a hook. Although this is actually a mechanic in the game where you bungee jump using your underwear, so, he'll be fine. And here's SpongeBob, and the picture is him doing like an armpit fart while he's standing in the middle of the dark kelp forest. Can you see it? Can you dig it? There he is. Armpit farting SpongeBob. So the kelp forest, which I think is actually the most difficult area of the game, besides SpongeBob's Dream. Especially the slide at the end. And then getting all the socks was frustrating, especially for this one area, which I had a whole story about, because for some reason my game had glitched. Like, there was actually a problem in the game, and it didn't load the vine that it was supposed to when I pressed a certain button. So I actually was not able to progress in the game until I glitched the game and was able to get through. I wonder if the remake will try and keep in some of the SpongeBob games, because, like, all the SpongeBob games were glitchy, but how would you put it? The Battle for Bikini Bottom in the movie game had fun glitches, which is similar to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, where people kind of had fun being able to just play around and see what they could do to try and make the world a little bit weird. Which, when they were making Ocarina of Time, they deliberately said that they wanted to have certain glitches still available in the game so you could exploit certain things just to make it more fun. Or at least I heard that in a Did You Know Gaming video. So I wonder if they will keep in some of the glitches just to keep it authentic and make it fun. If not, that will give you something to go back to the earlier games for. I don't know, just trying to jump and run around and see what you can get away with. So, in the kelp forest, it's dark, it's spooky, must be the kelp forest. Be careful, or you might not be able to leave. Yeah, this area was very difficult in certain parts, and there was a part where you have to use the cruise bubble at certain points to maneuver around to get out of the area. The kelp forest I'm not looking forward to going back to. I think that would be my least favorite of the areas. It was very frustrating, and because it was darker than some of the other spots, it was hard to see. Even though the Flying Dutchman's graveyard was also dark, it still was not as bad. For a nice bonus or two, try going back to previous levels as different characters. You might find a few hidden treasures that were left behind. Okay, that's decent. It's a decent tip. Also, this has a sort of Super Mario 64-esque level progression where you don't have to do these levels in order. It's recommended, but if you get a certain amount of golden spatulas, you can actually jump around to different ones. And then the gates to fighting the robots act similar to the star doors that you had to pass and defeating Bowser and everything. This is so much like a Super Mario 64 with SpongeBob, and it is so beloved because it's really, really good. They do the whole mechanics very well in that sense. Plus, they also have, like, the blue coin mechanic from Super Mario Sunshine with Patrick's socks, except they actually do something. Because the blue coins in Mario Sunshine actually are entirely worthless to beating the game. You do not need to collect a single blue coin to beat the game. You have to complete every seventh level in every world, which defeats the purpose of collecting all the shines. I mean, you could still 100% it if you want, but it's like, oh, that devalues any shines that are not the first 7 per area. This game, however, will let you do whatever spatula you want in almost any order. The earlier first levels you would do ahead of time, and then you could move on to the others. So it even starts off in the jellyfish fields with a Bob-omb Battlefield-esque sort of style, just because it's like a sort of grassy area that's still open, just ready for you to explore. I don't know, I get that vibe, I like it. So the Flying Dutchman's graveyard. Flying Dutchman's ghost. The Flying Dutchman's ghost is so upset he can't even work up the nerve to scare anyone. Those dastardly robots have commandeered his ship and are using it to battle each other. Can SpongeBob get the ship back? Tip, try talking to everyone you can. That's right, everyone! They might know something you don't. Or they might have something for you to do. Or they might be lonely. Poor lonely people. This is amazing. I love this. I think part of my humor comes from little things like this. Just pleasant, silly. I love it. I love it so much. This is a good tip. Thank you, SpongeBob Manuel. You make me happy. Yay. Oh, there's a little... I didn't realize this was slightly bent over here. SpongeBob's Dream, which I loved the way that you enter the level with SpongeBob falling asleep. I always thought that was cool. So sleepy. It says SpongeBob Dream with dream bubbles and golden spatulas. Well, it's just a dream. It can't hurt to grab a few things, can it? Well, it hurts if you land on the spikes. And somehow in his dreams he's able to get those golden spatulas. It doesn't make too much sense, but you look past that. Dream spatulas. If you die in the dream, you die in real life. Oh yeah, and you go into different people's dreams in the dreams, which is based off of that other SpongeBob episode, Nighty Night Time or whatever. I don't remember the name. So yes, SpongeBob gets to go to the other people's dreams, and those are additional levels. And I guess it is a dream within a dream, so it's Dreamception. Yay! For warping around levels, nothing beats a quick trip to the pause menu. That is a useful tip, actually. If you want to get to, like, Sandy's dream, which, if you want to skip over this to get to the later parts, go over to Sandy's dream instead of the beginning of the level, so that you can be halfway through the area already. And this one I love, because they just have a military, spray paint style, that's it. Question mark here, just like the letters. So, aha, Plankton's scheme has been unveiled, and it's time to teach him a thing or two about gratuitous, my mistake, gratuitous robot renewals. But some unexpected surprises still await SpongeBob. And they don't show you what it is to keep it a secret. Yeah, I love that. It gets you hyped to see the other levels with the pictures, but leaves a little bit of mystery. This way the manual doesn't spoil everything. But it still tells you the chum bucket, so you get used to it. And then here, just the credits. I have returned! I needed to use the loo. Anyway, we have the credits. All the wonderful, magical people who made this game. Thank you all, wonderful people. You know what, let's just take a brief little look. Look-see. We have developer, Heavy Iron, project director, executive producer, lead tester, cast, Tom Kenny. He voices SpongeBob, the French narrator. He voices the French narrator? And Gary. Oh, and they got him for Patrick, Sandy, Mermalaire Computer, Doug Lawrence. Yeah, Mermaid Man was a different person. Mermaid Man and Mr. Krabs sounded different in this game, so he's played by Joe White instead. Makes sense. Oh, yay. That makes me happy. Sense of provision. I should have sung a little SpongeBob song there, but I didn't. Special thanks to Stephen Hillenburg. Oh. I'm annoyed that they're making the SpongeBob spin-off show, which he deliberately did not want. And Nickelodeon basically waited until he passed away to announce it, which is so scummy. That's terrible. I love that they're making the remake of this game, but at the same time it's like, no, I shouldn't do that. Oh. Yeah, I wondered if they would have his name in here. I wanted to try and see it. Oh, VP of Media Products, Nickelodeon, Directors, Marketing. Oh. Rest in peace, Stephen Hillenburg. Oh. Alright. And now to look at the, that would have been a good place to end, but I want to see the advertisements for the other games. These are all so fun to look at. Things are about to get really odd in Shadow Showdown. Look at Mr. Shadow. It's the Mr. Shadow Show, starring him, Mr. Shadow. So, oh yeah, they have their CGI models, which are all cel-shaded, and look pretty good, I must say. I think Timmy looks a bit better than he does in Nicktoons Unite, actually. He looks a little derpy here, but that's a 3D model of Timmy. He looks better from the side and in 2D than in 3D, so that's just what's going to happen. But the rest of the game looks pretty charming and cool. Is this the GameCube game where they had the ad for it, and I was always scared because it looked like they had the... Like he was in some sort of robot suit balancing on a Q-tip, and it looked like it was inside something? I was always scared of that. Oh, I don't remember if this was the game or not. E for Comic Mischief, available this fall. It's been out for a while. Oh, and they made a Game Boy version of it. Here I always thought the thing that Jimmy was holding was like a hot dog with the Twonky thing. So here we go, Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies. Rawr. Now this game, it's rated E here, but I believe it was rated E10. And this... I think I had just turned 10, or I was possibly even 9. No, I think it was... Oh, it may have been when I was 9. But I remember it being rated E10, and I was much more scared of this game just due to the fact that fighting the Twonkies themselves felt scarier. Yeah, there they are. Look at the Twonky models in-game. They look so much scarier when you actually have to play as them and you're not just watching the special, because I love the special. I really loved the whole Twonkies thing. And then they also had a special event on the Nickelodeon website where Twonkies would appear in certain episodes of the show. And you'd go online and you'd do this special Twonky mission that you had to fly around with to catch them. And I never did a very good job playing it. I always lost. And you'd use Sheen. strapped to the thing to try and contain the Twonkies and whatnot. I always lost at it, but this game always seemed a little bit too scary for me, because having to run from the Twonkies and stand on top of a car just seemed scary to me. So this is actually something I was scared of that wasn't body-related, but it was just, they just seemed creepy to have to play around with. But it looked like it was a really cool game nonetheless. So this is a very well-loved Jimmy Neutron game. I played Boy Genius, and I really loved that one. The Jet Fusion, and I really loved that one. Boy Genius, I was very frustrated with. I liked it, but I also hated it. It was an interesting thing, just like nostalgia and whatnot. I'm playing through it currently, so you'll get a sneak peek of the next episodes and series that I'm going to work on. Yay! Oh, and when they were working on this, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. See the movie this November, then play the video game. I think they let the developers watch the movie before they played the game, because they did such a good job. It's one of the, along with Battle for Bikini Bottom, it's also one of the best licensed games ever. Because they reused the engine. This is like the Majora's Mask of SpongeBob games, and this was the Ocarina of Time. Except they're both about the same in quality, as opposed to people's thoughts on them, because some people prefer one over the other, some people just love both. I love both. They're both fantastic games. Really, really awesome. Oh, Steven Hillenburg. Oh, my heart. Ooh. Oh, this was when the rating was pending. Spoiler alert, it was rated E for everyone. And then this, oh yeah, so that's, it looked like they were on the ground level. When I first looked at this, I thought it was like, oh, they're just on the ground. But no, this is on the track from a different angle. I wonder if the bathtub looks different. This was just like a beta section of the level. And then there they are driving. And I love the little windows here, that they're off-center and kind of squishy and weird looking to be stylized. I love that. That just feels so charming to me. And there they are. They're super happy with the to-go license plate. Ah, such happy times. I think if I did play the game, I'm going to pass on playing Battle for Bikini Bottom until the remake comes out. But I may try and play the movie game at some point, possibly on the channel. Because if it'll take a while, probably next year when the remake will come out, it'll probably take even longer for the movie game to be made. And I hope that it's a good remake, and I hope that it does well, so that maybe we'll be able to get a remake of the SpongeBob movie, and it doesn't take a Bowser's Inside Story remake where it's not as good. So I'm hoping they really care. Purple Lamp Studios, I think Purple Genie, yeah, Purple Lamp. They're the ones who are working on it. So let's hope that it's like Crash and Spyro good, as opposed to Bowser's Inside Story remake. Oh, and then here's the limited warranty stuff, the service warranty information. This warranty is in lieu of all of their warranties. My warranty is in the top percentage of warranties, like Rattata. And then on the back cover, they have one more advertisement, which I talked about this as well, but it's not in the other advertisement section. Interesting. So this is the manual of Battle for Bikini Bottom. Such happy memories. I know this is a super long episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope you were able to have a little nostalgic romp looking at it, or if you've lost the manual, now we get to see it. It is immortalized. I imagine you could probably find scans of it out there somewhere as well. But yay, I am so happy. I love this. Good old GameCube. You will be missed, GameCube. I'm sad that the Wii U couldn't play you. Because once the Wii U came out, they stopped selling GameCube games at GameStop, and I was very frustrated. I wanted to play more. Meh. But yay! Oh, such good memories with this. I am holding on to this. This shall not be sold. I am going to still keep this. This is my friend. The box. And I love that on they released the box art for the Switch version, I believe the box art. They have a very derpy looking SpongeBot in the top corner of the Switch version. Looks awesome because it looks huge, but also looks very silly looking, unlike the other SpongeBob, which seemed both kind of silly and also somewhat quote-unquote intimidating. But it looks derpy, but I still love it. So we shall see. And I love that on the cover of the box, even though he doesn't have the little war helmet, He still is basically doing the same pose, while Patrick eating a throw fruit is next to him, and Sandy is on the other side, and they're on top of like a mound, and then there's like a broken robot shell underneath it. It looks so cool. I don't know why they also had a little lighthouse in the corner. I think that should be replaced with a sea needle instead of the lighthouse. But still cool nonetheless. So excited about this remake. I really hope it's good. And I think that the artwork is actually just concept art and isn't the final look of the game. Because SpongeBob and Patrick looked a little bit off. But you know what? I am going to get my hopes up and hope that it'll be a good remake. Because I'm excited for it. I'm really hoping that they're going to give the studio freedom on this. Nickelodeon won't intervene too much and say, no, you can't do this, or you can or can't do this. Hopefully they keep in the final lines about when you're about to get to the second phase of the SpongeBob robot fight, which I don't want to spoil the joke, but I hope they keep that in and they don't censor that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm gonna get excited for this game ahead of time. Yeah, so that is how I be. Tis the life of a gamer, or whatever. I don't know how else to end this. So I believe it's that time again, friends. I'm so excited about this. I've been waiting for years to hope that they would release a remake, or remaster, or whatever you want to call it, of the game. And they finally have! I actually was working on, or one of the plans for a game, I haven't actually started development on it, but one of the plans for the game was going to be basically like a homage to this and the SpongeBob movie game and its feel. Also kind of feels a little bit like Mario Odyssey, now that I think about it, but we'll see. That's for way future in the Handington. I gotta work on my app games first in terms of development and the channel and everything. But the fact that they're going to be making a remake, and just so out of the blue, I did not expect this. So awesome. I'm so excited. And somebody else on Twitter had said that they didn't even release any gameplay trailer of it yet. They just released SpongeBob getting the helmet on and going as SpongeBob does with the little helmet on. The animation was a little bit derpy, but you know what? I don't care. I'm happy. I'm excited for this. I am on board. Really hope it's good. It's also going to be $30, which is a reasonable price, I'd say, especially with added new content and stuff. So I think I may splurge and actually buy that when it comes out. I want to do that. I'm so happy about this. Yay. One of my favorite games ever is getting a remaster. I really hope it's good. I really hope it's good. One of my other favorite games, Bowser's Inside Story, was messed up, but you know what? I gotta hope. It's another one of my favorite games. So yes, let's go rootin' tootin' for this. I wonder how the kelp forest will be. If they'll make it harder or easier. Not sure. Hello, little game. You have given us all so many hours of memorable, happy pleasure, lots of laughs. Writing still holds up. I'm excited, guys. I'm happy about this. Yay. But I believe it's that time again, friends. If you like what I do, don't be shy to give a thumbs up. Have a pleasant day, everyone. And this is Handington, signing off. Bye! Bye!